What's up, everyone? My name is Florian, and I'm here with Ilyas Fahim. Let's get this interview started. Okay, Ilyas. My first question to you is, what or who inspired your tennis career?
Well, of course, my dad. He played tennis growing up, and he played at Radford just down the road. He started coaching me when I was like, I think 4 or 5. I just tried to hit the tennis ball, see what we could do, and I ended up liking it a lot. So yeah, my dad was my inspiration.
Awesome. All right. I've actually seen your dad before. He goes to the tennis games, right?
Yeah, he does.
So he's a big supporter?
Of course, yeah.
Awesome. So the second question is, as a 5-star recruit and the number one ranked player in Virginia, 43rd ranked in the U.S., how were you able to be so successful prior to Virginia Tech?
Well, I mean, I just used to train with my brother and my dad. It was just us three. We would go up to the public courts. I guess when the weather was good, we'd hit outside. When the weather wasn't so great, we would go indoors at a high school near like Orange County. It's called Woodbury Forest. We would go over there to play indoors. My dad was pretty tough on us, like with the fitness and the long practice hours. But you know, I enjoyed it growing up because like that's what I love to do. So that's how I was able to get highly ranked in the juniors.
So you're from, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but it's Barbersville?
Barbersville, yeah.
Just outside of Charlottesville?
Just outside, yeah.
So it's a small town. How would you say that influenced like the competition around you?
Well, honestly, like it's a pretty small area. There's not so many tennis players in Charlottesville. I mean, of course, UVA, but when I was younger, I wasn't at that level to hit with the players there. So, like, there wasn't really many like competitors in my area. So it was just me and my brother going at it, and you know, it's as brothers, you know, there's a lot of competition between us.
All right, next question. Since we talked about your hometown and how you practiced there and played there, because I know that most tennis players travel away from home to get into like different kinds of competitions and just get different kinds of experiences, either at a different state or a different country. So could you just tell me about, if you traveled a lot, how was it like?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled a lot for like the ITF junior tournaments. I've been to like a lot of countries like El Salvador, Mexico, Bolivia, Morocco, like so many more countries. And it's really nice going to all those places to like, you know, compete and stuff, like seeing the different types of like players around the world, to see the different types of levels. I think that I really enjoyed like traveling.
Were you going by yourself, or were your parents or brothers always with you?
Well, my dad was like my, you know, personal coach.
Yeah.
Because like he was there for me. So I would travel with my dad, and when my brother was still in the juniors, like before he aged out, I would travel with him and my mom. But some of the tournaments I went alone, which was a little bit tough because I didn't have like, you know, my dad to help me string the rackets, or like him that helped coach me and stuff.
All right. So my next question is about the Eddie Herr International competition. I just want to know, what was the most memorable moment of that tournament since you won it?
Of course, winning it was great, but you know, I got to play a lot of good matches there. The partner that I played with, I've met him before, but I never was really friends with him. So I guess building that relationship with him was good. You know, seeing all the other players from around the world and all of my friends that I haven't seen for like a long time, it was good to see them.
Since you're just like speaking about like your family and how much of an influence they are, would you say your dad is your role model, or is there someone else you look up to too?
No, my dad is definitely my role model.
Yeah.
He's always been there for me. I mean, whenever I needed something, I call him up. He's always there. So he's definitely my role model.
Nice. All right. So we'll talk about your life at Virginia Tech now. So this is your second year. I just want to know how you were able to settle in last year and how different you think it is in year 2.
Well, obviously this year's a lot different. Like, I'm living off campus. You know, I feel like I've been here and it's like home. So, you know, the first year was pretty tough. Like adapting to like the college tennis level, it's a lot different from like juniors. because the players are like, you're playing like grown men.
Yeah.
So like the pace of the ball was coming faster and stuff. But like overall, I think that I've adapted pretty good, especially now. Like I feel like I've eased up a little bit, and everything's been a little bit more mellow, so that's good.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was either the NC State game or the Wake Forest one. Like the talk of the game amongst like the crowd was that there was like some 27-year-old guy competing.
Yeah, I don't know, that in my opinion, that really shouldn't be allowed in college tennis, because I mean, me and a lot of my other teammates, we all came in at 17 or 18. Like, I mean, you gotta, I guess, play it how it is.
My next question would be, since you came to Virginia Tech last year, who would you say has had the biggest influence in your career here? It could be either a coach, a teammate, or a close friend.
Honestly, I'd say last year, one of my roommates, Ben, he was one of my good friends. Like we pretty much did everything together, but he ended up transferring. So this year, I'd say maybe Patrick on the team. He's always there. I can always talk to him whenever I need to and like hang out, whatever. But I think him and Ben. Also, I think Jim, our head coach, he's definitely been a big influence on me in my 2 years here.
All right, so you're talking about your coach. I do have a question about any coach in general. In your opinion, what was the best coaching advice you've received, like ever playing tennis?
That's a great question. I guess just stick to the process and like trust it. There's gonna be highs and lows, and you gotta just, I guess, keep pushing, because you never know when it's gonna be your flipping point.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about some results. So one of my questions is, since you've been at Virginia Tech, what would you say has been your most memorable win?
I guess I would say either the Princeton match or maybe Georgetown. I thought those two matches I played really, really well. Those two matches definitely, I mean, it was two different types of scores. Like one of them was really, really close. The other one I won pretty handedly. But both of those wins, I felt like I don't know, accomplished something really great.
All right, now to counter that, what would you say has been your toughest loss? Like what loss made you not necessarily like improve your game, because you're always improving, but which one did you learn from the most?
Like ever or here?
Ever, here, whichever.
Probably my match, I played a tournament in Mexico. I was up a set and a break. I lost the match, and I don't know, I had my head down. I was like, pretty upset about that loss. So I think that definitely was one of the matches that really helped me like learn from it, I guess. I learned a lot from that match. And since then I've started to, like when I go up a break, I'm trying not to get too anxious or whatever, just to stay calm.
So you're kind of alluding to my next question, which is when you're facing like a setback in a match, or you just feel like you didn't do as well as you wish you could have, how do you recover from those moments?
Well, I mean, I always try to give everything I got. Like, I don't like to give up. Like, that's not something that I really, look at. But, like, if I'm ever down in the match or, like, losing pretty bad, I just always, 1 point can change the match. So you always got to stay in it and just believe. That's all.
Nice. And it helps to have the people here believing in you, too. I noticed that when you play, the home games at least, you feed off of the crowd's energy a lot.
Yeah.
How, like, apart from your parents being here at home games, like, how much of an influence do you think the crowd has?
Well, I mean, the crowd definitely plays a big role, because it's not, like, you feel like it's not just you on the court. Like, there's everybody just pushing you and supporting you to go, especially the teammates when we play outside, or even in here when some of the matches are finished, they're on the court with you, and they're just, like, screaming at you to keep going and stuff. It's really good.
I see, sometimes you'll be celebrating. You'll be pointing at the crowd.
Yeah.
It's cool, it's cool. Next question. Let's see. Oh, I know. What kind of, like, Since every player here brings a different kind of play style, a different kind of attitude, what do you feel like you add to the team?
Well, I definitely try to like make everybody smile and like be happy. I try to push everybody to become like better and like have a good attitude on the court. And I don't know, just to try to get my teammates to stay calm when we're playing like tough matches and stuff, just to keep them in the match and stuff. But I definitely feel like I try to become more of like a brother instead of just a teammate to these guys.
Cool. I also noticed that you bring a lot of flair to the team, man. You do some fancy moves.
I try to.
Yeah. All right, so keeping on track with Virginia Tech, with this season being like kind of like halfway done, what are your objectives for the rest of the season? Whether it's like personal or as a team.
So I mean, my personal goal obviously is to just win every match, but knowing that the competition in the ACC is really, really tough, you know, like every match is gonna be really hard. So I mean, I guess just to keep a good win-to-loss ratio, and just learn from this experience and stuff. As a team, I really want to get to the NCAAs and hopefully win a few rounds there, and even do well in the ACC tournament. So with the team, I hope that's what we can do.
Going back to like how you traveled to like all these different countries, I do want to touch back on that. Which country would you say, excuse me, was the best? Like on the tennis court and off the tennis court, like where did you have the most fun?
That's a good question. I've had fun a lot of places. I'd say maybe Mexico. I went last year, or 2023 summer. I went with one of my friends who plays at Wake Forest now. We played doubles together, and like we hung out all the time. We shared a room there. Like that was definitely one of my favorite countries to go to.
And like when you travel to these different countries, is that always hard court or is it?
Well, it just depends on where you go. Like there's tournaments on hard court, clay court, not so much grass, maybe like Wimbledon and the tournaments before that. But like when I went to Egypt and like Morocco, like North Africa, they have a lot of red clay tournaments. South America, they have a mix of like hard courts and clay courts. So.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer clay. I grew up playing on clay, and I really like just the way you can move and like hit with different speeds of the ball and like mix up the pace. Like for me, I like clay better.
Cool. Okay, so you're Moroccan, right?
Yeah.
And Iranian?
Yes.
So how much does your culture play into your play style?
Well, I mean, I'm half Moroccan, half Iranian, so like there's a lot of like energy and like with my mom and my dad, like just seeing all my family and stuff. You know, there's a lot of energy whenever we meet with them. But I mean, it's for me. I really like having half and half because I can like fit in with two different types of groups. I like that.
Okay, so you spoke about you mentioned Wimbledon, and I saw when I was researching for my questions, I saw you qualify for the U.S. Open, the Juniors U.S. Open. Did you play in that?
I played the Junior U.S. Open. My freshman year here. I left. It was like the first or second week of school. I went to New York to prepare for the U.S. Open. That was a great experience, honestly. I mean, even though I came up short, just like being in the atmosphere, seeing all the crowd, and like all the professionals, like that definitely makes me hungry to achieve my goals.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I know one of my friends went to just go watch, and I honestly, something I do want to do in the future is just go watch.
Yeah, it's really good.
In New York.
Yeah.
All right, so just to like get your mind off of tennis, like outside of the tennis court, what are some of your goals, like personally?
Well, off the court, I want to be the best son that I can be for my parents, be the best brother that I can be for my brother. Like lifetime goal, I mean, just to make it, I guess.
And your brother's older than you?
He's 2 years older, yeah.
Is he still playing at GMU?
Yeah, he's at George Mason playing there. He's a junior right now.
Cool. All right. Well, those are all my questions. Unless you want to say something to the camera directly, like, you're playing here on Friday.
Yeah.
Tell people to come out.
Yeah, man. Like show up to the match. If you have nothing better to do, just pull up. We need the support.
How many home games are left?
That I'm not sure. Maybe like 4, maybe 6. Depends on.
Because you guys went away for like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we went away.
So people need to come out.
Yeah, we gotta come out.
People need to come out,
Show
bro.
support.
All right. Well, thanks, Ilyas.
Appreciate it.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.